Hello friends, welcome to Miss Lori's Craft Room. Today we're going to be making a banner, a sunflower banner. And as you can see, I'm not going to be able to show you the whole thing, but it says thankful. Okay, so this is building on the sunflower video that I've already done. So this video is going to highlight making the whole banner. It is not going to show you how to make the flowers. So if you want to make the flowers, you're going to have to go, which you will if you want to make this banner. You just need to go to my video that's on my channel and make the sunflowers, okay? So let's get started. Now, I will tell you that we have a lot of things are going to be required for this banner. A lot of things, so just hang on with me, okay? Okay, so first thing we need is turn off this light. Hold on, let me see, because it's kind of dark there. Okay, so we need burlap. These are rolls that I've gotten. I've actually got these on clearance at Walmart for really cheap. So you can get them anywhere. They have them at Joann's. They have it in all different colors, but I love burlap. Okay, so this is a roll. Okay, so I'm gonna set this aside. Then you're gonna need eight flowers. Okay, so you need to cut those from the other file, which I will include. The file actually is included in that video, so you can do that. Then you're going to need to cut. You're going to cut You're going to cut 4 of this stem. Let me put it on this so you can actually see it. 4 of the stem, and then you need to cut. Let's see. So you need to cut 8 of the other leaves, excuse me, okay? And then you also need to cut the word thankful, and this will be in these letters in this font will be included in the banner file, which I will include in the description of this video. Okay, you also need this is a really pretty lace. It's cotton lace. It's a cream color. And if you don't want to use that, you don't have to, but okay, so you need a green ink, and this is Topiary, and this is from Close to My Heart, but any nice green that goes with your paper will work. And then the other one we're using is Tim Holtz Distressed Ink, and this is the tea dye color. Okay, and this is for the banner. This isn't for the flowers, okay? And then you need some kind of small glue adapter, and this is the Aleene's Turbo Tacky. Has a very small tip, and I use this to glue the letters on it. It works really great, and it dries really fast. You need your distressing tool, some tweezers. I use this. This is another Aleene's. This is Aleene's Turbo Tacky, another tacky glue. I use that to seal the edges. And then we're going to need an ATG gun, your hot glue gun, and you also need, your distressing pad. Okay, so let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to roll out 9 inches of this burlap. And then you're going to cut it. See, if you can see, I always work on a mat, which makes it super easy because the line's already here, and you're going to cut that. Now, I've already cut the piece, so we're just going to work on the one that I've already cut. Okay? So, as you can see, it picks up everything, so you'll just have to take it off. Okay, so the first thing you do is you're going to fold it in half, and then we're going to cut. You know what? Let me get something underneath me because I can't really see it. So I know if I can't, you guys can. Let's get this. All right. So we're going to cut. You're making this V. Okay. So the way I do it is I fold the pieces in half, super easy, and I cut at an angle. There isn't any rocket science to this, and it doesn't have to be perfect. You just want to do the same on each one, okay? There you go. Now, this is a really big important step because burlap frays like crazy. Okay, so you're going to need to seal the edges of this, and this is where this clear glue comes. You could use, it doesn't really matter if it's the clear glue because usually most glue dries clear. You could use just tacky glue. You also can use Fray Check. I'm out of Fray Check, so I can't show you that. Fray Check is in the sewing section of your local craft store, and that works really well. It's a little more expensive than clear glue, but it's your preference. So I'm just going to put a little bit on this edge. See how I just ran it along it. And then what I do is I just use my finger and I go in, and I try not to just distort the burlap, okay? And you should do this first to all your pieces and set them aside because it takes a little while for this to dry, okay? So, and you might be able to see a little bit of it coming through, but it's not going to be enough that you're going to even notice it. Okay, so then you're going to set that aside to dry. So I have already dried my piece. So the next thing you're going to do then is you're going to, excuse me. Okay, so this is a Teflon mat. I recommend this. If you're going to use hot glue, Teflon mat is an amazing thing because it doesn't stick. So if you get any pieces on it, you can just wipe the hot glue right off, okay? So then what you do, and okay, so this is another thing, you can sew this also too. If you sew and you have a sewing machine, it's a really quick way to just turn it over with your sewing machine and just sew it, okay? This is also, I'm going to use hot glue because if you've ever watched my videos, you know I hate to wait, so I use a lot of hot glue. So you can also use a tacky glue will work, but because this is kind of wingy, the tacky glue you'll have to sit here and hold it for longer. So that is why I use the hot glue. Okay, and I'm using the Teflon sheet because hot glue is hot and this is porous and it has holes in it and it will come through and get you if you don't use this. So I'm just going to take a strip of hot glue right along the top. You can see how I have this edge lined up. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold it and I'm just going to fold it down it's about an inch, okay? And so then you're just going to hold it for a minute. Okay? So when I'm doing this, I really recommend that you do all your cuts at the same time, all, your banner pieces at the same time. Get everything all ready to go. Okay, so now it's stuck, so you just peel it off. See, that's how nice this is. This is a Teflon sheet. It doesn't stick, so just peel it off. Okay, so then you have your piece. Now, it's not going to matter if it looks absolutely perfect, okay? So don't freak out if it's not exactly even or anything, because as you can see, this is jiggly. It moves, and when you put all your stuff on, you won't even notice it. Okay, so that one's still wet, so I'm going to put it aside. I'm going to put this to the side because I don't need that. Okay, so we're going to assume that I've cut everything out. All my parts are cut, and so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to distress my leaves. Okay, so this is where the pad comes in. If you've never distressed, this is a squishy pad, and this is the tool. Now this tool looks a little different because my husband has fixed mine because I broke it. Okay, so I'll give you the link to these tools too. Also, it comes with all this cool stuff. The pad, the distressing with the balls on it, another stylus, some scissors, these great tweezers. So another thing, if you don't have these tools, let me show you. Your Cricut spatula will work. You can use the end of your Cricut spatula. So all I'm going to do, on these stems, all I'm doing is the leaves. Okay, so I'm just going to use that. And all I'm doing is pressing on it. So what you're doing is you're breaking down the fibers. So what happens is, see now it's turned, you can see what's going to happen is when you ink it, you're going to see it. So this is flat, and then you're going to see what I'm going to do. So this one I'm going to run my tool, And I'm showing you just with the Cricut tool so that if you don't have the Cricut tool, you don't have to run out and buy this distressing kit. You can use your mouse pad as a soft surface or some craft foam. Okay. Okay. See, so we're going to do that. Now, set that aside. Now we're going to ink these leaves. So when I'm putting together a banner, I get all the parts ready, finish everything, then I do the assembling at the end. Okay, so I'm sure if you've seen my videos before, I usually do use a dauber, but we're not going to use a dauber for this. So I'm going to just use it right from the ink pad. And it's going to go on really dark, but I'll show you when that's dried. So this is a pretty wet ink. Okay. So you went from that to that. Okay, and it's pretty dark, but what's going to happen when it dries, it's going to look like this. So it's going to look just fine. It's going to be perfect because it'll just look like it's accents, okay? So we're just going to keep doing all of our leaves. We're doing the edges, and what we're doing is we're catching all the places where you distressed it. Okay, and this one we're going to do the edges of the stem. And we're going to do leaves. Okay, and I really like a lot of inking. I think it looks fabulous. Okay, so let's set these aside. Now, one thing I didn't tell you that you needed, I forgot to tell you, is you also need banner pieces. Okay, so I'm going to include this file in the description, okay, on the video. So you need 8 of these, and you need 8 of these, okay? So this one we're not going to ink because it's dark brown and it doesn't really need any extra color, but we're going to ink the top piece. So this is where the tea-dyed distress ink from Tim Holtz comes. If you don't have this, you can use some kind of brown, or you can use even a gold color. It'll look really, really nice with this. So, and again, I'm not going to use a dauber. You can if you want, because I don't care if this looks a little messy, because it's going to go with the style of the banner that we have. See, so you can see how I'm just adding the edges. You can do this as heavy or as light as you want. Now this looks really dark, but it's going to dry differently, okay? I'll show you how it dries differently. Okay? So I'm going to set that aside. So, also let me show you the letters. So here's the letters, and you will have cut those out. When you cut your banner pieces, this file is part of it. It's part of the banner file, and so you'll cut the letters out to say thankful. Okay? So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start assembling. So we've cut all of our pieces. We've cut the banner pieces. We've sealed the edges. We've made our casing. So let's see, this is what we're going to do next. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take all of our banner pieces, okay? And another thing I forgot to tell you, you need jute. You get this at the Dollar Tree. You can get it at Walmart. It's really cheap. It's in the cross section. And you also need a safety pin. So you're going to take the end of it. You're going to tie a knot in it. You're going to put your safety pin through the knot. Okay. And you're going to line up your pieces. And this is what we're going to thread all through the casing. Okay? So you're going to take your pin and you're going to put it, because you created a casing when you rolled it over, put your pin, and if you've never done this before, all you do is you put your pin in, and then you're going to snake it along. So you squish, pull, squish, pull, squish, pull, squish, pull, squish, pull. Okay, look at that. So if you've never sewn or put elastic in, this is how you do that too. Okay. So you just keep going, and we're gonna do. This is gonna be the most tedious part of the videos because I have to do all 8 pieces. Excuse me. It's really smoky here because we're having a lot of fires everywhere, and it's really kind of hard right now to go outside to breathe, and I've been outside, so So I kind of sound a little froggy today. Now right here I kind of didn't catch that, so I'll just go back and glue that for a little glue. As you can see they're all just down here like this. And I'm not cutting it off yet. I just left it right. I'm pulling it right out of there because I don't know how long. I just would rather leave it attached until I get them all assembled, and then I can trim it off. That way you don't make any mistakes. I'm really big. I already made a big mistake earlier today making another banner, which was really, really frustrating. All right. Last one. Okay, so on that one, I got the glue a little high. So I'm just going to pull it out a little bit. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're just going to pretend this is the end. For video's sake, because I'm not going to be working on this. Okay, so then I'm going to do is I'm going to back it on itself probably about 6 inches. I'm just going to tie an overhand knot. This is really is when you tie it, it tightens really tight. So you're just going to overhand knot, and see, you just have it like that. So then I'm just going to kind of space these out, and I don't want them super close together because the sunflowers take up a little bit of room. So probably about maybe a ½ inch apart from each other. And then I'm just going to keep going until I have them all. And how I want them. Okay. And then you will 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so 8. So then you will measure off how much you need for the end. So you'll need about 6 inches. Then just cut it off, tie your knot on this end. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to start assembling. So I'm only going to be showing you how to assemble one piece because that's boring and tedious and nobody wants to see me put together a whole banner. Okay, so I'm going to pull this banner down that I've already got almost done. So for the last 2 pieces. And I'm going to show you. So what I've done, what I do when I do the banner, I'll just kind of, I'll show you everything. Okay. So usually when I'm doing a banner to try to make it pleasing to the eye is I'll go up, down, so across the whole banner. So here's the T. I started out at the top. And then the next one is on the opposing corner over here. And then the next one's up, the next one's down. Okay. So that's really pleasing to the eye when you're doing that. Okay, so we're just going to smush this over and we're going to keep going. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is we're going to use ATG to attach this to you've got your 2 banner pieces, and we're going to use, now you guys that know me, you're going to know that I will use hot glue. And I always use hot glue, but then I have done this about hundreds and hundreds of times, so I can eyeball it really good. But I don't really want you guys to be trying to do that because until you've kind of mastered hot glue, and I screwed up today big, I got a big glob of glue somewhere, so I'm going to show you a couple things. So I'm going to pull my ATG stand over here. So I just want to give a shout out to this fabulous ATG stand I have. It's kind of hard to see it here, but I use it, and mine is an absolute mess because I have my hot glue on it. So it's an ATG and a glue gun holder, and I'll include the link for this. It's a great company, and they are really quick shipping, and they're fabulous. This is a double, but it also comes in a single. So my ATG gun sits on it, and it's really great. So I'm going to scoot over here. Okay, so then you're going to turn the cream one over. You're going to apply adhesive to all around the edges. And if you've never used ATG, it's just, look how quick and easy it is. And it's got, let me tell you, it has really sticking power. It's fabulous sticking power. It's more than adequate for this. But, okay. So then you're going to center this, okay? And this is another nice thing about using tape, the ATG tape, is that it gives you some more wiggle room, where hot glue is like you got to be on top of it. Okay, so you centered that. Put it on there. Mine's not perfect, but in the grand scheme of things, you're not even going to be able to see it. Okay, so then we're gonna glue this on here, and I am going to use hot glue, and you will want to use hot glue or white glue or something because you want it. HEG is not going to. It'll stick to this burlap, but because burlap is so, it's got all those little. If you've ever used burlap, you know that it gets on everything. And if you used HEG, it would be fine for a little while, but it would eventually fall off. Okay, so just let me show you how I do this hot glue. So I just turn it over, and then so I'm going to, hold on one second, let's make sure that we're still going. Okay, so I'm gonna do glue all around, and I usually do a strip in the middle, and then I'm just gonna eyeball it, and I kind of center it, and I just push it down. Super simple. And a lot of times it will glue to the table because you push it down, but that's okay, you just peel it up. Okay? Then you're going to be cutting, this is 7 inches, and you can measure it yourself because some burlap is different. Okay? And once again, you can use I'm using hot glue, but you can use tacky glue, you can use it's just something that it's because ribbon is porous. So I'm just going to put a strip of hot glue right across the top, and then I'm going to line this up, and it will just stick. I don't smush it too much. And then I always use overlap because I really like it to look nice and finished. And then I'm just going to turn it over and put a little bit of glue, hot glue, on the edges of the ribbon of the lace, and put it. And seal those. Okay, so you can see. See, isn't that nice? I love this. This is my favorite cotton ribbon. I think if I remember at Joann's, I think it's $2.19 a yard, and so of course I always buy it when I have a coupon. You know, don't pay full price for anything. You know, Joann's has great coupon policies. Okay, so if you'll see on this one, I did the down, so now it's time for the up. Now on these, I did it so that the leaves are going down. But if you prefer the leaves to go up, just turn it over and put it like that, okay? But I like the sunflowers. Usually you'll see sunflowers are very droopy and their leaves are kind of going down. So I prefer that. So you could do this a couple different ways, gluing this on. You could use hot glue. Oh, there goes all my stuff just fell down. So you could do hot glue, you can do whatever. So I am actually just going to use some hot glue. Just going to put a little bit up there and a little in the center, and then down on the bottom of the strip. And then I'm just going to, and you want to put it down a ways because the sunflower is going to fit up there, okay? Oh, one thing, I should have put my letter on first. I will tell you that. I usually do put my letter on first. Okay, and the way I glue my letters is I use my tweezers and I get a hold of them. And this one, because it's kind of wobbly, and I'll tip it upside down. And this Aleene's Turbo Tacky, it takes very little and it adheres so great and it dries clear. Okay, so then I just turn it over, and usually I would have put it before I put the leaf, but it's okay. And then I just tap it down, and it's almost instantly dry. It's just fabulous glue. I just love it, and it's pretty cheap. You can get it at Joann's for $5.99 for 2, and use your coupon, of course. Okay, so then we're gonna glue. We're gonna put our sunflower on there, and nothing like handy dandy hot glue to glue everything down. I'm just going to glue it on, and that's it. Voila. So then you would put the L. I haven't finished. For some reason I thought Thankful had 7 letters, but it has 8, so I only prepared 7 things, and I wanted to get this video done today. So let me show you what I always do on the very last thing I do on my banners, okay? Because I use hot glue, which I absolutely love, but if you've ever used hot glue, you know it leaves strings. And if you're using dark paper, it also leaves, on dark paper, it will leave little, you'll see it. So if you don't have this tool, you can use your hair dryer. It will work. Okay. This is an embossing gun. Okay, and it's really hot, so be careful because it will burn things. It is literally an element heat like a toaster. Okay, so I'm going to melt all my strings, and I just go over each. So like these flowers have a lot of strings because they're dark paper. And I just go over every little part and just make sure that everything's clean. And I wish you could see this, but of course you can't because it's pretty subtle. But a lot of my flowers have little parts on it that need to be. And so and this will work with your hair dryer too. So I'm just going to go over the whole thing. And I'll show you one more thing I do. Okay, so one thing I do that a lot of times, because I don't like my banner pieces to slide around on my on the string. So what I'll do is I'll take right here between the banners I'll take a squirt of hot glue and I'm going to stick it up in the casing, you know, where the thing is. I'm just going to give it a little squirt. And what that's going to do is that is going to glue the jute so it doesn't move. And I just do it on one side because it doesn't need to be on both. Okay. And then I do that to all the pieces, and then that way it stays exactly where you want it, and you're not going to have it jiggling around on your thing. So thank you so much for coming into Miss Lori's Craft Room. I just love doing videos, and I hope to see some of your finished products. And I'll include all the things you need. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.